Hello, good people. This is Alison coming to you live from Perth in Western Australia, and it's very rainy here today and it's quite cold. And I can only do a short live today because I'm right in the middle of work, but I still wanted to press the button and do my live. So I've only got time to address the question that was in my last video. So here was the question, and one very intelligent man did answer it because he was correct. So here was the question. So I asked, if a child is learning decimals or percentages and they just don't really understand and they're quite confused, what do you do to help them? Now, you can sit there with a child and you can explain it all and you can give them all the answers and they still won't get it. Now, Massimo, he actually answered this. Make sure that the previous step they were learning was clear to them. And add some extra steps between that point and the point where they are confused. Now, this is very good advice. And sometimes when a child is learning, they are trying to work out the thing that they are learning that they're having trouble with. They're trying to work out that problem with what they're learning. So in this case, the child is learning, say, decimals, and they really just can't do it. At that point, you know that the problem's earlier, because if you've been working on decimals for weeks and weeks and the child just doesn't get it and they don't understand it, it has to be earlier. The problem isn't with that. So you really have to think about that, because I've seen so many times parents and teachers try to help the child with that one thing that they're having trouble with, and the poor child's sitting there and the person helping them is just going over it and over it and over it until the child's like, I just don't get it, I just don't get it. So you do have to go earlier. And I want to just give you one more little example of that. You know, I have a lot of parents come and say to me what the problem with their child is, and parents do know in most cases, but every now and then, let's try to think of an example. Division, simple division. You know, last week I had a parent come and say, my child just can't do division. And I went, okay. And she wanted me to do a little test. So I did a little test. And what I discovered is, I think I'll try to give you an example. Like, I asked her, say what 32 divided by 8 is. And she said 4. And I went, great, that's correct. And I said to her, how did you work that out? And she says, well, it was very simple. I just went 32 divided by 4. And then I worked out, I said to myself, how many 4s are in 32? And I said, yes, that's a very good way of doing it. So then she said, well, 8 4s are 32, or 4 8s are 32. And I said, that's really good. And then I said, how would you do 25 divided by 5? And she said, well, that's easy. That's, 5 5s are 25. So you see how she's a very smart little girl. She was using her multiplication to do her division. So that's the way that you do it. But then we got to one like, I'll only be a few minutes. And then we got to one like, I think it was 81 divided by 9. And then she said to me, well, that's easy too, because 8 9s are 81. And you see, straight away then I knew she didn't have trouble with her division. She had trouble with the multiplication. So can you see how this works? Like, it looks like she's got trouble with division, but in fact she's going 81 divided by 9 is 8. And then obviously 9 9s are 81. So I said to the mother, I said, she knows her division. She doesn't have a problem with it, but it's her times tables. So I'm going to leave you on that note. And of course, I'm also going to leave you on the fact that I'm Alison. I actually run a tutoring centre in applied scholastics called Applied Scholastics Wattle Grove in Perth. And I also have an online tutoring business that covers English and maths basics. And I do have a times tables program. I thought I would just mention that, and I will put that link in the comments below. I am working on other programs at the moment. I'm tossing up whether to do fractions next or punctuation and grammar. So if you want to add to that which one you think is more important, I can try to do the one that all the viewers, think is more important or are asking for. But anyway, I'll keep you up to date, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. And it's a Saturday here, and it's our busiest day in the tutoring centre here. We start at actually 7 in the morning. We finish at about 6:30. So I did want to keep doing these lives, and yeah, so any comments you want to make down below, please comment. I would love to hear you, what you're thinking, what you want to know about education. And anyway, just have a good day, and I'll see you in the next live. Thank you for listening.